Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Today I'm going to go over the Update 24 loot that's going to be dropping in the new content. I didn't know this was out yet. Apparently, about a week ago, a developer by the name of Infiltrator posted on the forums and posted this list, but he's not tied to the dev tracker on the forums, so I wasn't aware of it. But I was going through the forums yesterday and I saw a link to it, so I thought I would post a video and give my thoughts since it wasn't included in the last video. Overall, these items, as they've stated and as I figured they would go, are not in-game items. They're minimum level 26, and their goal in designing these items was not to replace the new Orchard items that just came out a month or two ago. Their goal seems to be to give you an upgrade between levels 20, maybe give you an upgrade for a level or two on these items, but it's not something you probably won't be wearing at level 28, although a couple of these look like they will be worthy of being worn at level 28. So let's just go ahead and get started and go through them. First of all these items are bound to character, which is a little bit disappointing. It was really nice with the Orchard items in the last update all being bound to account, because that allowed you to find an item on one character and transfer it to another character. For example, I found probably 3 weeks ago, I forget the name of the item, but the one that has plus 11 intelligence on it in the Orchard. I pulled it on my cleric and I didn't need it, so I was able to send it to my wizard. So it's nice when stuff is bound to account. I don't like when it's bound to character, but these all appear to be bound to character if the description is correct in the developer's posts. So you'll have to actually farm the item on the character you want it on. So let's start with the first item, which I think is actually the best item in the pack. It's the best item in this list, probably the most useful for the most highest number of builds. Some might be wearing this at level 29. It's called the Epic Vim and Vigor, and it's a necklace, minimum level 26. All these are minimum level 26. It has strength plus 11, which this will make it the second plus 11 item in the game. It has superior false life, which is plus 40 hit points. It has greater heroism effect on it, which up till now the only item that's had that on it is the Epic Boots of the Innocent from the Temple of All. It has natural armor plus 9, which is unless your tank isn't very useful, and a green slot. So that's an item that I might consider wearing for my cleric at in-game. I mean, right now I have a helm. I'll have to really look at it and see how I would shuffle items around, but that's definitely going to be worthy of consideration. And like I said, I haven't looked too far into it, but I might be able to save a gear slot or something, since it has greater heroism on it, which might give me a reason to replace the Epic Boots of the Innocent, since I believe the Dexterity 11 is already on another item I have. So I might be able to replace it. I'm thinking not. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I don't know right now, but it's the only item on this list that I'm actually considering for my character level 28. And there's also a mythic version which upgrades the false life from plus 40 to plus 45, and it upgrades the natural armor from plus 9 to plus 10. I mean, 5 more hit points. It probably isn't worth farming the mythic version, but since I'll probably be running this on Epic Elite, I might get lucky and pull a mythic item. Although up till this point I've only seen one mythic item drop in all the Epic Elites I've ever run on the Orchard quest, and I've run them quite a bit, so they're rare, but if I get it, maybe I'll consider it. The next item is it's called Arcane Armor. It looks like it's light armor. It appears to be geared specifically towards Eldritch Knights. It has Wizardry X, which is plus 250 spell points. It has Insightful Constitution plus 4, which is really nice. Insightful Intelligence plus 4. It has greater Arcane Casting Dexterity, which lowers Arcane Spell Failure by 15%. And the base spell failure on this item is only 10%. So you can put this light armor on as an Arcane and not have any spell failure associated with it. So I don't know if this is going to be worthy for a lot of, well, some heavy armor, some arcanes may want to use this, but I don't know how useful it's going to be for Eldritch Knights, just because they typically aren't going for high DCs. So the Insightful Intelligence +4, while it looks really nice, it may not be that vital for them. So we'll see. It looks like a fairly nice item. Be interesting to see if anyone actually uses it. We've got a quarterstaff called the Bone Crusher, which, and this is the mythic version, has Seeker +10, Insightful Combat Mastery +6, which is, I believe that's the highest Insightful we have, which, if you don't know what it is, Insightful Combat Mastery gives you a bonus to your DCs for Stunning Blow and Sunder and Trip and Stunning Fist, those crowd control, tactics abilities. What else? It has Rock Slide on it, which, what does that do? I'm not even familiar with that effect. Okay, so it looks like it's sort of like Crushing Wave Guard. It says up on a hit you have a chance to do massive bludgeoning damage to your enemy. Okay, it doesn't give much information, so I don't know how good that is. It also has Shockwave, which I believe that's on the Greatsword from Fall of Truth. It gives you a little bit of electrical, a little bit of, wait, actually it's bludgeoning damage to surrounding enemies. And Havoc Sectional Stun +2. So wow, it gives a lot. This quarterstaff gives a lot of bonuses to your stun DCs. This looks very nice for monks. It looks like a monk item for quarterstaff wielding monks. This definitely would give them a nice boost to their DCs. I think this, I don't know if there's anything else in the game that can really beat the Insightful Combat Mastery +6 and the Exceptional Stunning +2 that's on this item. I'll have to look and see. I'm not very familiar at all with quarterstaffs, but it looks very nice just from my perspective. Then we have an orb called the Blazing Sun, which caught my eye. This is a cleric orb, and this looks really good for, say, a swashbuckling cleric build or just a casting build. It has an orb that has Radiance and Devotion +150 on it, and Insightful Spell Lore, which is an additional +2% insight bonus to critical hit. That's okay. Not a big bonus there, just 2%. But it does look very nice for caster clerics or perhaps swashbuckling, bard cleric type builds. Looks very nice. Something worth considering. Not something that would be worth it on my main. I mean, my main uses two-handed fighting, but if I ever run a single weapon fighting cleric, it definitely might be worth it. What else? We've got a pair of goggles, which has a bit of a funny name. It's called the Epic Four Eyes. It has True Seeing on it, a concentration bonus, Insightful Wisdom bonus, a Spell Pen bonus. It looks a little random to me. I don't see... I mean, True Seeing looks a little... If you're going to put Insightful Wisdom and True Seeing on the same item, it seems redundant to me, since clerics are the ones who mainly care about Wisdom. Although some monks might. But clerics are going to have the True Seeing spell. And if this is meant for monks, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to have the spell penetration on there. So I don't know. That doesn't look like it's going to be used much. I don't see a lot of value in that item. The effects just look too random. It doesn't seem like it's going to sync very well with a lot of builds. We have a docent called the Epic Stone Exoskeleton. I'd be interested to see what the cosmetic looks like. I wonder if it's like a bones type look. That might look pretty sweet, just as far as cosmetics goes. But as far as the actual stats, it's got Fort 150, Insightful Con +3, Insightful Intelligence +3, Vitality +40. That's somewhat decent. I don't know how that compares to Shadow Scale, but it might be useful on some arcanes. It does have the Insightful Con, Insightful Intelligence, so Warforged Wizards look like they might get some use out of that one. There's a Rune Arm, which I'm not even going to go into. It's called the Epic Resplendent Rune Arm. I don't know hardly anything about Rune Arms. Artificer, one class, I think I've spent all of about... I rolled one up once just for fun, and I spent all of about maybe 30 minutes playing him, so I don't know anything about Artificer, so I'm not even going to go into that one. There's a tower shield called the Epic Stone Wall, which, let's see, it has spear block and axe block on it, which are going to be useless since all tower shield wielding heavy armor types are going to be wearing Shadow Scale, which already has 30 DR on it, so that's going to be useless. Has a +2 profane bonus to AC on it, and it's very minor. And it has a unique effect called Orslack's Prison, which affects your shield bashing. So it has a chance to proc a, looks like a flesh to stone type effect on an enemy. It can only trigger once every 90 seconds, and it requires a DC a fortitude save of 65 and negates it. That doesn't look very good as an effect. I mean, if it only triggers once every 90 seconds, that's not very useful. That's just 90 seconds is a long time. So if you're lucky, it might proc on one enemy during a large mob fight. Overall, that tower shield looks extremely useless. I don't see any reason for any build to use it, since the DR on it's going to be useless, since they'll be running Shadow Scale. The profane bonus to AC is very minor, and that prison stone guard effect is very minor. It's just, it doesn't, it's not going to have much of an effect as far as CC goes. A lot of shield builds are already stunning the crap out of things. I don't think an extra possible stoning of an enemy once every 90 seconds is going to really encourage anyone to use that item. I think that's all we've got for the items. That's it. Oh, that's all the items overall. A bit disappointing, although it's what I expected. A little disappointing. I thought maybe there would be one or two items that might be worth using. Like I said, for my build, the necklace might be worth using. I'll have to look into it a little bit more. But overall, you know, it's a bit disappointing, but it's to be expected. I knew that Turbine was going to go this route with these new items. They didn't want them to overshadow the level 28 items, but when you make these items level 26 minimum, I just don't see many people taking the time to use them just for one level, because when you get to level 27 you can use all your orchard items. So swashing your gear around just to get from level 26 to 27, it's not something it's going to be worth the time to do. Although some of these items will be an upgrade for a few builds, and I can see a few classes possibly wanting to use these at endgame. Particularly the orb looks very nice, and the necklace, as I mentioned, and perhaps the quarterstaff for some centered monk type builds. So overall, just okay, what I expected. Well guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.